In this simple program, we'll be doing an enum exercise. We're going to prompt a user to enter a day of the week, and based on the day that is entered, the program will output a different message for each day. We're going to create an enum class to store the days of the week. We're going to create a day checker class containing the enum as a data member, and the day checker constructor should accept the value that is entered by the user. And as we said, based on the day that is entered, we're going to print a custom or unique message for that day. And as a hint, we're going to use a switch statement to achieve this. So first, we're going to create our enum, and we're going to call it day of week. And inside our enum, we are going to define the different days of the week. So we're going to start with Sunday, and we are going to go all the way up to Saturday. Next, we're going to create our day checker class. So we're going to create a new class and call it day checker. And this class is going to check the particular day that is entered by our user. It's also going to contain the logic to determine which message that should be displayed. So the first data member will be the day of week enum member, and we're going to call this day. Next, we're going to define a public constructor. And remember, the constructor's name should be the same name as the class name. Inside the constructor, we're going to accept our enum object. So therefore, we have the day of week enum as our type, and we're going to define day as our temporary parameter. And inside the body, we're going to set this.day equal to day. And keep in mind that this refers to the current instance of the day checker class. Next, we're going to define a method that prints the custom message based on the day of the week entered. So this is going to be a public method, and it's going to have a void return type, and we're going to call it custom message. We will not need any parameters for this method. So inside our method body, we're going to have our switch statement. So to define a switch statement, we first need our switch keyword, and we're going to evaluate the day variable. So the first case will be the first day of the week, which is Sunday. And if Sunday is entered by the user, we're simply going to print easy like a Sunday morning. And of course, programming in Java is easy, just like a Sunday morning. And let's not forget our break statement. So we're going to continue creating a case for each day of the week. So let's create a case for Monday. And for Monday, we're going to print the message, seize the day. We'll end this with a break statement, and we'll continue to Tuesday. And for our Tuesday message, we're going to print, it's time for Taco Tuesdays. We're going to break. And next, we're going to enter a case for Wednesday. And of course, we know that Wednesday is hump day. So we're going to wish our user a happy hump day. And we're going to break. Next up is Thursday. And we're going to print one more day until Friday, because we all know that we love Fridays. And we're going to enter our break. And now we're going to do our case for Friday. And we're just going to print TGIF and break again. And for our final case, Saturday, we're going to print a message that it's the weekend, so we can do something fun. We're going to break. And finally, our switch statement will not be complete without our default statement. And this will print a default message to the user in case they enter anything or any value, any input that is not one of the days of the week that have been programmed into our switch statement. And we're simply going to let the user know that their entry doesn't seem to be a day of the week. And we're going to end with a break. So our switch statement is complete. Now inside our main method, we're going to define a string that will allow us to store the input from the user. Next, we're going to prompt the user and ask them to enter a day of the week. And in order to store the day of the week inside our input variable, we have to define a scanner object. So we're going to define a scanner object and set it equal to a new scanner. and pass in a parameter of system.in. And now we can store the input that the user enters. So we're going to set input equal to scanner.nextLine because the input variable is of type string. And we're going to append the dot to uppercase method to our nextLine method. And what this will do is it will convert any value entered by the user to uppercase, seeing that all the enum definitions are uppercase. Next, we're going to simply print the input of the user just to test the program to ensure that it's working. And we see that we have entered Monday and it has printed an uppercase Monday. So our dot to uppercase method works. So now let's get rid of that print statement since our program is working up to this point. And we're going to create a day checker object. So we're going to use the day checker class and we're going to define an object and we'll just call this object day. And we set it equal to a new day checker. But if we simply just put our input variable inside our day checker object or our day checker parameter, we get an error message. And this is letting us know that the type that is required is an enum called day of week, but what we have provided is indeed a string. Therefore, to fix this, we can enter the day of week enum and use the dot operator to access the value of method. And we can enter our user input as an argument into the value of method. And this will allow the program to match the user's input to the enum type that we have defined. Now we simply have to print day.custom_message. So now let's run our program and we're going to enter a day of the week and we enter Tuesday and we get our Tuesday message. Let us try a different day. We have entered Sunday and of course we get easy like a Sunday morning.